Hi Sarah, I'm free today. Do you wanna hang out with the gals?
Hi Yuki, OMG, I want to, kaso my favorite plant just died because of the water I used to it. You know naman, I'm a plantita, diba? And they are my life. Super sorry talaga, I'll make bawi, I promise.
Okay, no problem.
But why don't you call Mel? Here's a call. Dali, go ask him.
Okay. Oh, hi Mel, do you wanna go to... Hey, what happened? It looks like you are in pain.
Hi Yuki, hi Sarah. I'm in pain right now. Legit super sakit my stomach. Last night I did the water therapy. Kaso I think it's not clean. I think it's contaminated. Awi talaga. Promise, I'll make bawi to you next time. Awi! How about ask Ella? Add her here. Today is her arrival. I think she can G naman to you eh. Go! Dali, ask her.
Sure guys, I'll add her here and talk to her.
Hi Yuki! Hi guys! Oh, to the F to the G! I miss BGC na eh! But my arrival will be late, guys. I'm currently stuck at the middle of the ocean. And our cruise ship got stuck. Sabi, it was because of an oil spillage eh. It kind of triggered the machine under the water daw. Not sure eh. But I'm currently inside my room, guys. I'm safe. Maybe try to ask Venice? I don't know, for sure she will come with you.
Sure, I'll add her here. Hi Van, Oh wait, what's happening to you? Where are you?
Okay guys, I have to tell you something. I'm currently in the precinct right now and I need your help. I was penalized for littering in Manila Bay. Malay ko ba, I really don't know na bawal palang mag-litter doon. And I'm not gonna lie, pero I was tipsy kanina and that's why I litter. But I'm currently regretting my actions and I promise not to litter anymore.
Anyway guys, I have chika. Do you know ba si ano? Guys, do you hear that?
What? I only hear the ocean breeze here. Guys, stop it! Don't make me takot!
We're not doing anything. And really super sakit talaga my stomach. Guys, stop it. Ang corny nyo.
Guys, please stop this. This really gives me goosebumps.
Guys, nawala kayo sa video.
OMG, no, stop this na, Yuki or Mel.
Aloha! Welcome! Let's discuss pollution, but mainly water pollution. Water pollution occurs when harmful substances, often chemicals or microorganisms, contaminate a stream, river, lake, ocean, aquifer, or any body of water, degrading water quality and rendering it toxic to humans or to the environment. Water is uniquely vulnerable to pollution, known as a universal solvent. Water is able to dissolve more substances than any other liquid on Earth. It's the reason we have Kool-Aid and brilliant blue waterfalls. It's also why water is so easily polluted. Toxic substances from farms, towns, and factories readily dissolve into a mix with it, causing water pollution.
Effects of water pollution on human health. To put it bluntly, water pollution kills. In fact, it caused 1.8 million deaths in 2015, according to a study published in The Lancet. Contaminated water can also make you ill. Every year, unsafe water sickens about 1 billion people, and low-income communities are disproportionately at risk because their homes are often closest to the most polluting industries. On the environment, in order to thrive, healthy ecosystems rely on a complex web of animals, plants, bacteria, and fungi, all of which interact directly or indirectly with each other. Harm to any of these organisms can create a chain effect, imperilling entire aquatic environments.
Let's dig deeper into water. Let's now tackle water environment. Water environment is where water manages to improve or maintain the health of rivers and wetlands, including plants and animals that depend on them. Though water environment can mean anything, water in a river or a wetland that provides healthy environmental space to the water. We all know that water environment has its own negative effect on the community and its wastewater. Wastewater is used water that has been affected by domestic, industrial, or commercial use. The composition of all wastewater is thus constantly changing and highly variable, which is why it is so difficult to pinpoint a singular definition of its word. The composition of wastewater is 99.9% water and the remaining 0.1% is what is removed. The 0.1% contains organic matter, microorganisms, and inorganic compounds. Wastewater effluents are released to a variety of environments such as lakes, ponds, streams, rivers, estuaries, and oceans. Wastewater also includes storm runoff such as harmful substances, wash-off roads, park lots, and rooftops. The three main characteristics of wastewater are first, physical characteristics that includes turbidity, color, odor, total solids, and temperature. Second is the chemical characteristics that includes chemical oxygen demand, total organic carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, chlorides, sulfates, alkalinity, pH, heavy metals, trace elements, and priority pollutants. Third is the biological characteristics that includes biochemical oxygen demand, oxygen required for nitrification, and microbial population.
Wastewater characteristics as well as water treatment process are important for environmental engineers to understand. Physical characteristics of wastewater. First, color. Fresh sewage is normally brown and yellowish in color but over time becomes black in color. Second, odor. Wastewater that includes sewage typically develops a strong odor. Third, temperature. Due to more biological activity, wastewater will have a higher temperature. Fourth, turbidity. Due to suspended solid in wastewater, wastewater will have a higher turbidity or cloudiness. Chemical characteristics of wastewater. First, chemical oxygen demand or COD is a measure of organic materials in wastewater in terms of the oxygen required to oxidize the organic materials. Second, total organic carbon or TOC. TOC is a measure of carbon within organic materials. Last is the biological characteristics of wastewater. First, biochemical oxygen demand or BOD. BOD is the amount of oxygen needed to stabilize organic matter using microorganisms. Second is nitrogenous oxygen demand or NOD. NOD is the amount of oxygen needed to convert organic or ammonia nitrogen into nitrates by nitrifying bacteria. Third is microbial life in wastewater. Wastewater contains the following microbes: bacteria, protozoa, fungi, viruses, algae, rotifers, nematodes, and lastly, oil and grease. Oil and grease originate from food waste and petroleum products.
Now that we know the characteristics of wastewater, let's now know its kind. Let's have Sarah and Ben for its kind.
Thanks, Mel. Magandang buhay. Kamusta kayo? Now, I'll be discussing the different kinds of wastewater. Domestic wastewater. By the term itself, it is generated because of human activities in households. Kitchen, shower, wash basin, toilet, laundry, and yes, it includes human urine and feces that have been flushed with water. It contains human waste and if not adequately managed, it can pose a public health danger. According to Henze and Ledin, the components present in domestic wastewater are microorganisms, biodegradable organic materials, nutrients, metals, inorganic material, thermal effects, odor, taste, and radioactivity. Domestic wastewater has a solid content of about 0.1% because of the mixture of food solids, oil, soap, and etc. The nature of these pollutants and the huge quantities of wastewater makes its disposal a considerable technological difficulty, even though they make up a very small fraction by weight. Debris and plant nutrients are the main pollutants, but disease-causing microorganisms are also extremely likely to be found in domestic wastewater. They can adversely affect aquatic life if discharged into the environment. The composition of domestic wastewater varies on an hourly, daily, seasonal basis with average strength influenced by water use, diet, habits, and lifestyle. Second is industrial wastewater. One of the most common byproducts of industrial or commercial activity is industrial wastewater. The water that was utilized to manufacture commercial items in practically every phase of production in nearly every business. This processed water is considered waste after it has been used and must be treated before being discarded. It's a product of the food and beverages processing sectors, oil and gas, mining, and as well as the clothes you wear and the device you're using right now. Depending on the sort of company that produces it, industrial wastewater has a wide range of quality and volume. It could be extremely biodegradable or not, and it could contain or not contain components that are resistant to treatment. Few examples of industries that produces wastewater are steel production, wastewater treatment plants, power plants, chemical manufacturing, and food processing. These industrial wastewaters can be reduced by eliminating hazardous materials during its production phase and the usage of technology to make changes in the production process. Let's hear Venice for the agricultural wastewater and the wastewater treatment, its regulation, and the legislations.
Greetings! Thank you, Sarah, for giving us valuable information about domestic and industrial wastewater. Now, I'll be discussing agricultural wastewater and also the wastewater treatment, its regulations, and legislations.
Agricultural-based pollution can contaminate the water, food, fodder, farms, the natural environment, and the atmosphere.
So what does agricultural wastewater means? Well, agricultural wastewater is primarily the excess water that runs off the field during surface irrigation at the low end of grooves, border strips, basins, and flooded regions. Also, another term for this is called irrigation tailwater. To obtain a modicum of irrigation effectiveness, a certain quantity of tailwater runoff is required to provide adequate water penetration along the length of the furrow or border strip being irrigated. The agricultural-based pollution can contaminate the water, the food, the farms, the natural environment, and the atmosphere. So wastewater can come from a variety of sources including the ones listed below. These includes storm and groundwater, building and roof runoff, irrigation overflow and runoff, vehicle and equipment washdown, plant and shed washdown, food processing byproduct and waste domestic and commercial grey water and black water, and lastly agricultural effluent. The improper use of wastewater in agriculture can result in the accumulation of chemical and microbiological pollutants in crops, livestock products, soil and water resources, and subsequently severe health consequences for exposed food consumers and farm workers, as well as intensify antimicrobial resistance. However, if properly treated and utilized, wastewater may be a valuable source of both water and nutrients, helping to improve food security and livelihoods. Let us now move on to wastewater treatment. Well, wastewater treatment is basically the process of turning wastewater into water that may be discharged back into the environment. We classify wastewater treatment as a water use because it is so closely linked to other water uses. Before being released back into the environment, much of the water consumed by homes, industries, and enterprises must be treated. Did you know that approximately 60% of suspended particles are removed from wastewater during primary treatment? Aerating the wastewater to reintroduce oxygen is also part of this treatment. On the other hand, more than 90% of suspended particles are removed during secondary treatment. There are two regulations or legislations that are being implemented in the Philippines. These two are namely the Republic Act 9275, the Clean Water Act of 2004, and the DAO 2016-08 or DENR Administrative Order Number 2017-08. Wondering about the RA 9275? Here's Michaela. Take it away!
Hello LaSalle engineers! Kudos to you, Venice! Now, I'll be discussing the RA 9275, the Clean Water Act of 2004. Polluted waterways are responsible for 31% of all diseases in the country. Clearly, in order to ensure that Filipinos had access to clean water, the government needed to develop a comprehensive water quality protection policy. With this, the Republic Act 9275, the Clean Water Act of 2004, was established and implemented. Its longer title is an act providing for a comprehensive water quality management and for other purposes. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo signed the bill on March 22, 2004, and it went into operation on May 6, 2004, with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, including the implementing rules and regulations. This law seeks to preserve the nation's water bodies from pollution caused by land-based sources. It calls for a comprehensive integrated plan to avoid and reduce pollution through a multi-sectoral and participatory approach engaging all sectors. The DENR, in collaboration with the National Water Resources Board, would select water quality management regions, with of course comparable hydrological, hydrogeological, climatic, or topographic variables that may impact the response and diffusion of contaminants in the water bodies. Local government units or LGUs would aid in implementing this law, as applications would be managed locally by enforcing multi-sectoral governing boards, which also includes respective mayors and governors. The RA 9275 would also ensure that all violators would face punishment and legal consequences. Anyone who discharges wastewater in these bodies of water must pay the wastewater fee. This fee, also known as the Environmental Guarantee Fund (EGF), allocated would be further used as funds to develop improvements and support for the emergency management plans. However, if proper disposal of wastewater is applied, awards and recognition would be provided. Based from the screen, here are the prohibitions set by the law. On the advice of Pollution Adjudication Board or PAB, anyone who conducts prohibited activities such as releasing untreated wastewater into any bodies of water shall be punished not less than 10,000 pesos but not more than 200,000 pesos for each day of the violation. Multiple government agencies would aid in the process of implementing this law. It includes the DOH, or the Department of Health, which will collaborate with the LGUs to maintain the physical conditions of the Filipinos. The Philippine Coast Guard will ensure that they will enforce water quality standards in the marine waters. The Department of Agriculture should develop recommendations for using wastewater irrigation and other agricultural process. This includes the prevention, control, and abatement of pollution caused by agriculture and aquaculture operations. The Department of Science and Technology is responsible for evaluating, verifying, and developing and disseminating pollution control and cleaner manufacturing technology. On the other hand, the Department of Education and the Commission on Higher Education, the Department of Interior and Local Government, and the Philippine Information Agency should plan and carry out a comprehensive and ongoing public education and communication program. This is to make people aware of the law. The Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, which would handle a wastewater that would affect the transportation system of the Philippines. Interesting, right? But wait, there's more. Here's Yuki for the DOA 2016-08.
Thanks, Ella. Drink your water, engineer. DAO 2016-08, or as known as DENR Administrative Order 2016-08, has its subject as the Water Quality Guidelines and General Effluent Standards of 2016. The order is in accordance to Section 19D of Republic Act 9275, otherwise known as the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, as well as the Executive Order 192 providing the reorganization of the Department of Environment, Energy and Natural Resources, renaming it as Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or it is called DENR. This order adopts and spreads the water quality guidelines and general effluent standards. It also provides rules for the classification of water bodies in the country, as well as the determination of time trends and the assessment of phases of water quality deterioration and improvement. A determination of whether action is required to avoid, control, or mitigate water pollution. It sets the general effluent standards and designates the water quality management area. And here are the most important sections of DAO 2016-08. Section 1, or the basic policy. It is the policy of the state to pursue a policy of economic growth in a manner consistent with the protection, preservation, and revival of the quality of fresh, brackish, and marine waters. Section 3, Scope and Coverage of the WQG and GES Water Quality Guidelines. So the WQG applies to all water bodies in the country, fresh waters, marine water, and groundwater. It shall be used for classifying water bodies, and shall be used also for determining trends. It will evaluate stages of deterioration or enhancement in water quantity. It is also used as basis for taking positive actions in preventing, controlling, or abating water pollution. And it is also used in the designation of water quality management, or WQMA. And of course, Section 4 includes some definition of terms, and Section 5 are the classification of water bodies, as you can see there. Section 8, the modification of WQG and GEs. Modifications can be requested as long as there is clear and scientifically valid proof that the change is in accordance with RA 9275 and the implementing rules and regulations. A change in the WQG value of a water segment must not result in a change in the water segment's designated use. Parameters of significant effluent water quality by sector and GE values. Section 10, or grace period. In accordance with the Clean Water Act, a grace period of not more than 5 years is granted in the following circumstances. In comparison to the levels in the DAO 1990-35, GE's values have grown more rigorous. In such instances, during the grace period, DAO 1990-35 will apply. Establishments can only be granted a grace period if they submit a compliance action plan and a periodic status of implementation to the DENR detailing the efforts they've done to meet their compliance schedule within the grace period. Section 12, Fines, Damages, and Penalties. Fines ranging from 10,000 to 200,000 Philippine pesos each day of violation, based on PAB guidelines, rates to increase 10% every 2 years. Upon PAB advice, closure, suspension of development or construction, or cessation of activities, 2 to 4 year imprisonment for failure to clean up, and 50,000 to 100,000 for every day of violation. Issues and challenges on the water environment legislation. The inadequate logistical support to ensure that the Clean Water Act and associated legislation are rigorously enforced, financial and technical. Inadequate capability of law enforcers, particularly at the municipal level. The stakeholders have a poor understanding of the present wastewater management laws, rules, and regulations. Law enforcement is hampered by the lack of coordination among various government departments and local government units. Thank you, LaSalle engineers, for listening to us. On behalf of the team, this is Yuki saying that save water to save lives. Bye-bye!